Hi everyone, and welcome to Delphi's How-To video series. My name is Clay Pennington and I'm a Senior Product Specialist here at Delphi Product and Service Solutions. In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the fuel pump on your vehicle. Not every vehicle is the same, but it's a good place to start. Make sure your vehicle does not have an access panel that will allow you to access that pump without removing the tank. In this case, on the Silverado, we'll have to drop the tank to remove the pump. We always put safety first, so make sure you're thorough and careful and have safety glasses and gloves to work with. First, we'll have to lift the vehicle to remove the fuel tank. Make sure you drain any fuel that's in the tank in an approved container. And check out our other videos on how to remove the tank and clean the tank. Now we've got this fuel tank completely dried out. After we've cleaned it out, rinsed it out with water, wiped it down, aired it out, let it sit for an extra 30 minutes to make sure it's completely dry. Now it's time to put the fuel pump in. So let's get to it. First, I'm going to put the O-ring in on this application, and every application is going to be a little different. Put the O-ring in place. And I'm going to guide the fuel pump in. Just make sure you're gentle. Make sure you guide the fuel level sensor in first. It should fit down right in place with no problems. Make sure you get the correct indexing. Then we're ready to put the snap ring on. So use your special tool for putting that snap ring back in place. Manufacturer specifications, and your tank's ready to go back up in. Okay, so after we got the snap ring in place, the retaining ring in place, it's time to position any hoses that we have to put back on there. Snap in place, make sure you hear the snap. Any retainings, give them a push-pull. After you get them on there, make sure they don't come off. Place. Fuel line's all connected to this pump. We're ready to go back up in the truck. So now we've got our new pump inside the tank. We're ready to put the tank back up. You may need an assistant to help you put the tank up on the jack or to help lift it in place. This tank was pretty light. It's empty with no fuel in it, so I was able to get it up on the lift with an assistant, and we're ready to go back up in there now. Make sure you guide all your lines and wires and make sure everything's connected again before you bolt it in place. If there are any retainers in the electrical system locks, make sure you put those back in place also. I just connected the fuel pump sending unit wiring, and now I'm connecting the fuel tank pressure sensor wiring. And I'm going to put my electrical lock back in place. You put the lines on, make sure the lines snap in place, make sure the retainers are in place. That way you'll ensure that the fuel line stays on where it's supposed to. So the next thing we want to do, after we've got the tank up in place, we're going to put the holding straps in place also. So we'll do that right now. Once you've got those bolts started, and then release the jack, make sure you can reposition it any further that you need to before you tighten the straps fully down. So now before I tighten it down completely, I'm just going to do one more quick run over to make sure all the lines are in place, connectors are all on, and everything's lined up the way it should be. Now I'll finish tightening the straps up. Okay, looks good. I'm going to go ahead and finish tightening these straps up, and then we'll be able to lower it down, put some fuel in it. I reposition that fill tube line. It's on there. It's got to tighten it down and make sure the wires are all routed correctly and the lines are routed correctly there through the holders. Finish tightening it up. You want to make sure you do these in an even pattern. Don't just tighten one up all the way and then move the other, and tighten them up evenly. Make sure the tank goes up smoothly. It's all tightened down. We'll just make sure we reconnect this and tighten up the fill hose clamp. And one last check on all the routing, and then we'll lower it down. So we're all set. We replaced the fuel pump on this truck after dropping the tank and cleaning it out, and replaced the fuel pump with a new one. This fuel filter was built into the pump on this model, so there was no inline fuel filter, so make sure you replace that fuel filter every time you replace that pump. Visit us on some other videos we have out there, and thanks for watching.